All right, let's take a journey back in time, way back. Back to the very crucible of Western esoteric thought. Imagine a time when the greatest frontier to be explored wasn't outer space, but inner space.
And look, this isn't going to be some dry history lesson. Think of this as an invitation for you to become a seeker on a quest to understand a powerful, ancient force. Now, when you hear the words Greek fire, your mind probably jumps to that legendary, unstoppable weapon, right? Well, for today, forget that. We're talking about something completely different, something internal, the flame of sacred illumination, a deep experiential knowledge that the ancient Greeks were absolutely obsessed with. So, where did this all begin, this quest for an inner fire? Let's dive right into that ancient spark. It's easy to dismiss these things as just old myths, but they weren't. The Eleusinian mysteries, the oracles, these were incredibly sophisticated systems. They were designed with one profound purpose: to get you out of your head, to bypass that noisy intellect and awaken a direct, intuitive grasp of reality. It was all about experiencing the divine, not just thinking about it. And when it came to these traditions, one place stood above all others, the most famous and definitely the most secret. We're talking about Eleusis. Get this, for almost 2,000 years, this was the ultimate spiritual destination. The mysteries promised initiates a blessed afterlife by guiding them through this powerful symbolic journey of life, death, and rebirth. And the key to it all, the secret sauce? Absolute total secrecy. I mean, if you revealed what you experienced in there, that was a death sentence. No joke. So how did they do it? Well, they used myth as a kind of roadmap for the soul. The story of Persephone wasn't just some tale, it was a psychological blueprint. Her descent into the underworld, that mirrored the initiate's journey into their own darkness, their own subconscious. Her return to the light, that symbolized a powerful spiritual rebirth. They didn't just hear the story, they lived it. And this entire experience built up to one single mind-blowing moment. The Epopteia. This was the grand finale. And it wasn't a lesson, it wasn't a lecture, it was a direct, raw, life-altering vision of the divine, an experience so profound it would change you forever. This was knowing something in your bones, not just your brain. Okay, so Eleusis was top secret, but does that mean all this divine wisdom was kept under lock and key? Not even close. And that brings us to the other side of the coin, the public hotline to the gods, if you will, the whispers from Delphi. And here you can see the contrast so clearly. On one hand, Eleusis, super exclusive, all about that deep personal transformation. On the other, the oracle at Delphi, open to everyone. Kings, commoners, whole nations came seeking guidance. Two very different approaches, but really they shared the same goal, to connect the human with the divine. Each system had its own unique channels. At Delphi, you had the Pythia, a priestess who would enter a trance to channel prophecies right from the god Apollo. At Eleusis, you had the Hierophants, the guides who revealed the sacred things. And you can't forget the places themselves. These sacred sites were seen as energetic hotspots, charged with centuries of spiritual power that made it all possible. So what happened when the temples were closed? Did all this ancient wisdom just disappear? Not exactly. The thread continues, even today. You can almost trace the journey of this flame. It was lit in ancient Greece. Then bam, in 392 CE, the Roman emperor officially shuts the mysteries down. But you can't just extinguish an idea like this. It didn't die, it went underground. It was preserved in secret traditions like Hermeticism, waiting to be reignited in our time through what's called living transmission. And this is a really important point. The goal isn't historical reenactment. It's not about dressing up in old robes. It's about reactivating the core principles, the energetic and philosophical engine of it all, for today's world. So what's that core principle? It all comes down to that famous maxim from Delphi, know thyself. That's the heart of the modern journey. The quest that once sent people on a physical pilgrimage to a temple now points them inward. The sacred site isn't a place you travel to anymore. It's inside of you. Which brings us to the most important part. How does any of this apply to you? Right here, right now. Well, it's all about your inner oracle. The modern path is all about developing your own inner knowing. Your intuition, that gut feeling you get, that's your personal Pythia. Learning to listen to that quiet inner voice, well, that's the contemporary way of seeking divine guidance. So how can you start? Here are a few practical exercises for the modern seeker. You can try an oracle meditation, just ask a question, quiet your mind, and listen for whatever comes up. Or you could try a cycle journal, where you reflect on a past struggle and see the Persephone pattern of descent and rebirth in your own life. You can even create your own small sacred space, a personal telesterion, for reflection. These are all simple, practical ways to ignite that inner flame. This ancient wisdom suggests that this flame has been passed down through millennia, and that it now resides within you. It's waiting. So the final question is, what will you ask it?